Hey, what's up guys, it's Bakes and thanks for joining me for another one of my collection update videos. This time it's my collection update for summer 2023. It's crazy to think that this is now our second year of doing this series here on my YouTube channel, and I've said this so many times before. These are some of my favourite videos to do. It's just fun to look back at all the things that I've picked up over the past 3 months and get to share it with you guys. But if you are not new to this series and you have seen my collection update videos before, you guys would know that they usually take a little while, so I'm going to try and get straight into it now. I normally try and do it all in one take, so hopefully it is smooth sailing the whole way through. Got my water here. Just a quick rundown. I'm going to start with my horror DVDs and horror movies first. Got a fair few of them to get through. Then I'm going to go to my albums. I've only got 4, which is considerably lower than what I usually pick up over the past 3 months, especially as of recent time. And then I'm going to finish with my collectibles. Most of them are horror. I've got a few that relate to music, but I've got a lot to go through, so I'm going to save that till last. As usual, I'll put chapters in the time bar below, so if you want to skip certain parts or whatever, go for it. But as I said, let's start with the horror movies. So first, we'll start off with these little franchise sets. So the first one I have is this Cabin Fever set put out by Via Vision. I've done reviews of both of these movies on my channel, so if you want to know my thoughts on these movies, go and check out those videos. And I've said this so many times, I don't know why they didn't put Cabin Fever Patient Zero on here as well. Fuck it, they could have put the remake on here too and just made it 4 movies all in one set, but Via Vision have been smashing it out of the park with these franchise sets, so I had to pick this up. I actually owned both of these, in solo copies, but as I said, Via Vision have been doing great stuff, so I had to pick this up. Another double feature put out by Via Vision, The Messengers. I've done a review of the first Messengers movie, so check that out if you want to know my thoughts on that, but I didn't do a review of the second one. I only just checked out the second one maybe a week ago or something. It didn't thrill me, it was quite boring, but again, Via Vision have been smashing it out of the park with these double features, so that was cool. And this one is not put out by Via Vision. Actually don't know who it's put out by, but it's the Blumhouse Halloween trilogy. So it's got the first Halloween from 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends. My opinion on the Halloween trilogy by Blumhouse is it's not actually too bad. I think it gets way too much hate. I think it's honestly the Halloween fanboys that just hold John Carpenter's original and that whole original franchise to such a high standard, just hating on this one too much. I'm actually a really big fan of the one from 2018. Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, they're not really my thing, but I respect them a lot more than other people. You can have fun with Halloween Kills, and I think Halloween Ends, it was very different, but for what it was, I accept it. I think it was decent enough. So I haven't actually opened this yet, but I have seen all these movies, so I'm sure I'll get stuck into them again soon. I already owned the first Halloween from 2018, just Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. I thought, perfect time to just pick them all up in one set. Moving on, I got a few here from Umbrella Entertainment, and yeah, let's start off with these two. I picked up Terrifier here on DVD. They put out both Terrifiers, I just might as well show them off all in one. So Terrifier 1 and 2. I'm sure you guys know, if you follow Umbrella Entertainment on any socials or whatever, they put out this big Art the Clown set that had Terrifier 1 and 2, it had All Hallows Eve, and it came with like a shirt, poster, bobblehead or whatever. I didn't really feel like I needed that, 1, because I don't collect Blu-rays, and 2, I just thought it was too much money for, I don't need a bobblehead or a shirt or whatever for 100 and however much money they were asking for. All I wanted was the movies, really. And I'm not going to lie, I'm going to give myself a pat on the back. I feel like I kind of talked Umbrella Entertainment into releasing these. If I remember, I'll put a screenshot of the message I sent them, and I low-key feel like I pushed them in the direction to putting these out. So, yeah, I'll go through them quickly. Terrifier 1. This one feels like it's just been swept under the rug, honestly, because of all the hype from Terrifier 2, but I really do enjoy Terrifier 1. There is one moment in the movie that I don't really like, but I'm sure I'll do a review on this movie at some point. I haven't opened it, but I watched this movie when it first came out. I really like Terrifier 1. But now moving on to Terrifier 2. As I said, this movie took the world by storm. And I have spoken about this recently in my movie night video when I went and watched Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Check out that video if you haven't seen it. I spoke a little bit about Terrifier 2 and my thoughts on it. I don't think I liked it as much as other people did. I just think for a slasher movie, it was way too long, and I don't mind that they were trying to give the history and background of Art the Clown. I just didn't really care for it. I preferred the first half where it was just him going around killing people, all that gore. I really enjoyed that. But again, haven't opened this one. Last time I saw it was in the drive-in, so I'm excited to revisit it. I might like it more this time. But either way, really cool that Umbrella put them out. And another one from Umbrella, but this time from their Ozploitation Classics, Turkey Shoot. Really fun movie. It's kind of like, I don't know, one of those hunting humans, survival sort of movies. It reminded me a little bit of Arnold Schwarzenegger's The Running Man and a little bit of The Hunger Games, I guess. This was a first time watch, but I really enjoyed it. It was pretty fun for what it was. And I didn't know that they put out these Ozploitation Classics on DVD. I thought it was just a limited Blu-ray thing. So Umbrella Entertainment, if you are watching this video somehow, send me your Ozploitation Classics on DVD, because I will get them. Moving on. Now into just some other DVDs that aren't under any labels. Here we have The Menu. If you watched my top 10 horror movies of 2022, this was my number 3. And honestly, it could probably be my number 2 now. I have watched this movie twice since getting it on DVD, so I've watched it 3 times overall. I don't think I'll ever get tired of this movie. It's just so refreshing, so unique, so much fun. I really do like The Menu. I'm not going to dwell on it too much. Really good movie. I picked up this one called Villains. It's got Bill Skarsgård and, what's her name? Micah Monroe. This was a really fun movie. It's like these two in-love criminals. They're not the brightest, but they're trying to get out of the city and their car breaks down, so they break into this old couple's house, and the tagline's really good. 2 bad people meet 2 worse people. That's kind of what it's about. It's a horror comedy. It's kind of cool. I did enjoy that one. Another one that I picked up was The Black Phone. Again, this was in my top 10 horror movies of 2022. I had this at my number 5, and again, after rewatching this one, this could potentially go up. I won't get too into my thoughts on this movie because I've actually filmed a review of this already. I just haven't posted it on my channel yet. So if you want to know my thoughts, just hang around my channel. It should be up over the next week or so. But yeah, I really do like that movie, and I enjoyed it a lot more this second time watch. Daniel Isn't Real. I have done a review on this one as well, so if you want to know my thoughts, check out that video. I think it only went up today at the time of filming. It's probably a couple days now if you're checking it out, but this is a movie that I saw a couple of times when it first came out, but rewatched it again, obviously, for my review. It's a really unique movie, and it is quite cool, but something there is missing for me to really say that I enjoy this movie. But Daniel Isn't Real. Cool movie. Doctor Sleep. Put this movie off for the longest time because, just hear me out, I am a fan of The Shining, Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. However, it's not a movie I come back to very often just because it is very long and it's a slow burn, and I know I like the movie, and there's a handful of movies like that where I just don't come back to them very often even though I know I like them. And I kind of thought Doctor Sleep was going to give the same sort of vibe, but I actually really liked Doctor Sleep. It was a long movie, but it didn't really drag. Yeah, I really enjoyed Doctor Sleep. I put that off for the longest time, as I said, but so happy I finally got around to it. Next up, I got The Nightingale. This is by Jennifer Kent, the director of The Babadook. And I recently revisited The Babadook, and that was the most I've ever enjoyed the movie. And I knew she had this one out. Kind of put it off for a long time. I know it's sort of borderlining horror, more exploitation, but this was a really good movie, really brutal. It's a little bit slow at times, but at the end of the day, I really enjoyed this movie. Yeah, it's going to trigger some people. It's pretty brutal watch, but good movie at the end of the day too. One from last year, Firestarter. I'm not going to talk too much about this one because I'm sure a lot of people know this movie isn't very good. The first half of it, I was actually pretty engaged, but it dropped off majorly and very quickly, and yeah, I lost interest very fast. So, Firestarter, I'm not going to talk about that one too much. Another one that I've done a review of, and another one from last year, The Invitation. Like a romantic vampire movie. I'm not spoiling anything here. It's quite obvious what type of movie it is. But as I said, if you want to know my thoughts on this one as well, I've done a review of it. Not really my thing, but it is watchable. It's somewhat entertaining. Monstrous. I think this one was also from last year. I've got a lot of movies from 2022. Again, this one's sort of like Firestarter. It had a good start, but dropped off majorly, and I completely lost interest by the end. It was kind of unique. I thought it was okay, but not really for me. Got a handful of movies left. Another one that I picked up from last year, Smile. This one's still wrapped, so I haven't rewatched it since watching it in cinemas. This was another one though that made my top 10 of last year. I really did enjoy this movie. My expectations for it were not high at all. I thought it was going to be something like Truth or Dare, something really cringy. But this movie was a lot of fun, and I'm not going to lie, it genuinely scared me at parts. It takes a lot to scare me now because I'm sort of desensitized to horror movies a lot of the time. And I know a lot of people are going to be saying, oh, how did this movie scare you? And, putting on this macho front, which, I'm not saying this movie scared everyone like it scared me, but there was genuinely parts where it fucking gave me goosebumps. Fear is subjective, and there was parts that, I'm not going to, try and act tough. It fucking scared me at parts. But that's a cool movie. I've kind of put it off and not unwrapped it and watched it again, purely because I feel like it could go down on a second time watch, because by all means, it's not an original movie. It's nothing that we haven't seen before, so I feel like it could go down, on a second time watch, so I'm kind of putting it off, but I'll eventually get it back around to it. Wolf Creek 2. This was a fun one to check out. For the longest time, I wanted to watch this movie again. I hadn't seen it since it first came out, but I have done a review of this one as well. So if you want to know my thoughts on Wolf Creek 2, check out that video. Wolf Creek 2 is a lot of fun. I think I still prefer the first one, but by all means, it's a good movie as well. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, another one that I've also done a review of. I'm sorry, I feel like I've spoken about all these movies already. But this is one that majorly grew on me. I saw it when it first came out, and I wasn't overly impressed. I thought it was just okay. I didn't quite get the hype, because I know a lot of people really enjoyed this movie. Maybe people that grew up with the books, because I didn't. I don't know what it was. There was just a little bit of disconnect. By all means, I didn't think it was a bad movie. I just didn't hit the mark for me. But rewatching it this time around, I fucking loved it. As I said, if you want to know my full thoughts on this movie, check out my video for it. Just a lot of fun. It's like a grown-up version of Goosebumps, the Goosebumps movie. A lot of fun. I really did enjoy Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and I'm so happy I gave it a second chance. This one was an interesting one. This one, not from last year. I was about to say from last year again, but Lamb. This is a Swedish movie, I think. Okay, it's from Iceland, Poland, and Sweden. But I really did enjoy this movie. It's slow. Maybe by the end it's a little bit anticlimactic and confusing, but I enjoyed the ride. I know a lot of people are sort of mixed on this one, but for what it was, it was decent. I liked it enough. So. And last one, not really a horror movie, but horror elements. I'm gonna put it in the collection. Adam's Family Values. I haven't seen this movie for the longest time. To be fair, I'm actually not 100% sure if I've seen this one. I know I've seen the first Adam's Family, but Adam's Family Values, I don't know. I think vaguely, maybe have seen it. I'm not too sure. But they're my horror movies. Yeah, it took a little while to get through. Hopefully, didn't drag too long. 15 minutes. Yeah. So as you probably picked up, a lot of them I've done reviews of. So if you want to know my thoughts on them, plenty of them, just go through my channel or search them up because, as I said, I've done reviews of most of them. But yeah, really cool. Now moving on to my albums that I picked up over the past 3 months. As I said, only four. Over my past few collection updates, I've been picking up roughly, I'd say like 10 to 15. So four is considerably lower. I don't know what it was. I just wasn't really picking up music, I guess. But let's get into it. The first one here is Ammo, put out by Bring Me the Horizon. By all means, I'm not a huge fan of this album, but I like it enough to pick it up. I only pick up albums that I, at least somewhat enjoy. I'm a lot less picky with my horror movies. Even if I know a horror movie's bad, I will pick it up. But with music, sorry, I'm a lot more picky. This one I was teetering on for the longest time, but I finally pulled the trigger because it has its moments. I really like Mantra, Wonderful Life, Medicine. Yeah, there's lots of good songs on here, so I thought, why not? You guys know me, I don't listen to rap very often, but, I try not to pigeonhole myself into particular genres that I love because, it means that you're going to miss out on some stuff that you could potentially like, and a rapper that I really do enjoy is Denzel Curry, and he did another album last year, but I didn't enjoy it as much. This is his album from 2018 called Taboo. I really enjoy this album. It's really good. It's probably one of my favorite rap albums from the past 10 years, honestly. As I said, I don't listen to rap that often, but for what it is, I really enjoy that album. And then now I have two albums from this year. The first one is The Jaws of Life by Pierce Vale. 7 years in the making. It doesn't feel like that long since we last got their last album, Misadventures. Misadventures is probably my favourite album from them. This one, I feel like a lot of people were let down by it. I don't think it's that bad. Yes, it's not their best effort, but by all means, it's not a bad album. My favourite song on here is Death of an Executioner. It's the most traditional sounding Pierce Vale song. But there's other really cool ones on here as well. Past the Nirvana, Emergency Contact, 12 Fractures I really like as well. This one has its moments, but at the end of the day, it's decent enough. It's not their best effort. And then last album here, another one from this year, Paramore's This Is Why. Again, another one that I feel like a lot of people were let down by, but I feel like they only have themselves to blame because when Paramore released the first two singles off this album, which were This Is Why and The News, a lot of people were like, oh, it's the return of old school Paramore. This is going to be on par with Riot and Brand New Eyes. And I'm not the biggest fan of Riot, but I really do enjoy Brand New Eyes. And I kind of knew no way this was going to be the exact same as those two. But a lot of people just sort of put their expectations up there. Then when this came out, they were let down, which, as I said, they can only have themselves to blame. But this is actually a really solid album, and I feel like a lot of people are giving it way too much hate. I really do enjoy this album. Those two leading singles were really good as well. I really like Liar and Crave as well. Yeah, I feel like this album is really solid. But there we go, already through my albums, as I said, and now we're going to get into my collectibles, and I'm actually running at a way better time than what I thought I was going to be. I'm at 20 minutes currently. Maybe I went through my movies and albums too quickly, but moving on to the collectibles, the first one is this Creeper Funko Pop. I really enjoy the Jeepers Creepers movies, and don't crucify me for saying that, because I know a lot of people are like, no, you gotta cancel the Jeepers Creepers movies because of Victor Salva. I mean, no one fucking likes Victor Salva, that's fair enough, but I like the movies. I think the Creeper's cool, so this was a cool Funko Pop to pick up. It's the only Funko Pop I picked up over the past 3 months. A few PS4 games. I'm not a huge video gamer, but I'm sure I'll get stuck into these at some point. I picked up The Quarry. I think this is very similar to Until Dawn, which is a game that I have played and I enjoyed very much, and hopefully I will enjoy this one just as much. It's got Lin Shaye in it. It's also got Justice Smith. It's got a few familiar faces in it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing this one. And I also picked up the Evil Dead game. Yeah, I'm not honestly too interested in this one, but I'm sure I'll give it a go. Yeah, as I said, I'm not a huge video gamer. The last game that I played on my PS4 was Spider-Man, and I got about halfway through and just sort of forgot about it. It was fun for what it was, but as I said, just sort of forgot about it, honestly. And I've got other horror PS4 games. I got Friday the 13th, which I actually used to play a lot. I've got Blair Witch, which I haven't played in a while. I picked up this original Goosebumps book, Welcome to Dead House. I already read it. Growing up, I loved the Goosebumps books, but I never owned any of the originals, especially with the original covers. So this was a really cool one to get. And, you know, they're quick reads. I went through this in about a week, which might sound really long, because literally people can bust these out in half an hour, but, you know, I just read it whenever I was on my breaks at work, so this was a pretty cool read. I got this horror movie Trivial Pursuit game. I got this one for Christmas. And I think low-key my family are regretting getting this for me, because I'm the only one that's really into horror movies. So when we play this game, it's a one-sided affair for sure. So I feel a little bit bad whenever we play this, and it's been a long time since we've played it. I think we've only played it maybe 3 or 4 times, and they're just getting sick of, you know, not having a chance to get any questions right. So I'm actually trying to figure out a way to play this game with you guys. You know, if we did a live stream or something, I think this would be really cool to, you know, get into. So I had lots of fun with it, at least. As I said, very one-sided games, but, you know, I thought it was cool. Next thing that I want to show off, this was also for Christmas from my girlfriend. These are really cool. These are horror movie Christmas tree ornaments. I might have to take some of them out of their boxes to show you, or maybe at least one. So this is by a small company called Horror Ornaments. I don't know how to pronounce that. But yeah, these were really cool. So, you know, eventually when we move in together, we'll put them on our Christmas tree. So she's generous enough to let me put horror stuff on it, but we got a shrunken head. We got a Santa skull. An evil elf kidnapping a kid. A ginger dead man. Not the one with Gary Busey. And a literal mistletoe. I should do a video where I unbox all of these, actually, because they're quite cool to go through and have a look at. But I'll open this mistletoe one. There we go. Yeah, these are really cool. Yeah, so shout out to Horror Ornaments. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not sure if you're meant to merge the words together a little bit more. But they're really cool. So I'm pretty sure my girlfriend said they're a small company. So hopefully I do a good job of promoting them. This shirt is another thing that I got. It's a, you know, pretty obvious Friday the 13th shirt. Jason Voorhees. Really cool fit. Whenever I do collection update videos and I have a shirt that I want to show off, I never wear it for some reason. So luckily I remembered this time. A Green Day shirt, American Idiot. I'm going to open this now. I got this ages ago, just for some reason never unwrapped it. This definitely is my favourite Green Day album. American Idiot, yeah. Pretty simple. This one's really cool. The band Stand Atlantic, whenever they release an album, they do a basketball jersey relating to the album. So, for their newest album called Fear, they released this basketball jersey, the Fear Devils. 666 to go on the back, and you got Stand Atlantic's letters on the back. You would have seen me wearing this in so many videos if you are familiar with my channel. Especially now that we're coming out of summer and we've just been in summer, this has been a lifesaver because it's so light and breezy, and I do love my basketball jerseys, so it's cool to have something that, you know, mixes sport and music together. Really cool. And this one I just realized is not horror, but I put it with my stuff anyway, or it's not even music related. It's this South Park hoodie. But I've been wearing this in videos also, and I'm a huge South Park fan. It's got the discretion thing that plays at the start of all their episodes. So there we go, guys. We are already through this collection update video. I think I went a little bit too fast. I could have spoken about a few things a little bit more. This is probably my quickest collection update video. But as I said, a lot of the movies that I went through, you know, I've done reviews on, so if you want to know my thoughts on them, you can check them out. Or if there are any of these movies that I haven't done reviews of and you want to hear about, let me know in the comments below, and maybe I can get around to reviewing them. It also helped that I didn't have many albums to go through at all. But yeah, most of this was honestly collectibles. This is probably the most collectibles that I've had to go through. I'll try and do a separate unboxing video where I go through all of these horror ornaments, because they're really cool also. But either way, didn't have to stop too much. Hopefully I won't have to edit too many things. But thank you for joining me for another collection update video, guys. As I said, I really enjoy doing these videos. Let me know your thoughts on the stuff that I picked up. You know, if anything in particular interests you, or if you have any of these things, any of the new albums, let me know your thoughts, these new movies. Just talk to me in the comments, guys. Any support helps. Commenting, liking, subscribing, sharing. I really appreciate it all, guys. And I'll see you for another video soon. Peace.